takes less time to do things right than to explain why you did it wrong. Hi friends, I am Rajender Goswami, Assistant Company Secretary at APAC Associates LLP. I will take you through this 13th video of the web series that is One Concept, One Slide, initiated by APAC Associates LLP. This presentation is about secretarial audit mandatorily required to be undergone by the specified companies under Companies Act 2013 and the listing obligation and disclosure requirement commonly known as SEBI LODR. Going through this video will not only provide you an overview of the process that should be adopted for the audit which adds value to the company's process and procedure, but will also provide you with the critical point that must be kept in mind by the secretarial auditor while issuing the report. We look forward to receiving your queries, comments and feedback by any means given on the slide. Secretarial audit. Secretarial audit lays the groundwork for the establishment of an ongoing secretarial legal compliance and prevention program to ensure that the company's goal, structure, and ongoing operations are consistent with the latest development in the business and law governing the corporate entities. The most prominent and the foremost point of discussion here is the meaning of secretarial audit and why is it necessary. Secretarial audit is an audit to check compliance of various legislations including the Companies Act and other corporate and economic laws applicable to the company. It is independent and objective assurance intended to add value and improve operations of the company. It helps to accomplish the organization's objective by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and improve effectiveness of risk management, control, and governance processes. It thus provides necessary comfort to the management, regulators, and the stakeholders so as to ensure statutory compliance, good governance, and existence of proper and adequate systems and processes. Next, we will discuss the companies which are mandatorily required to undergo secretarial audit. As per Section 204, Subsection 1 of Companies Act 2013, read with Rule 9 of the Companies Appointment and Remuneration of the Managerial Personnel Rules 2014. The following companies are mandatorily required to obtain secretarial audit. Every listed company. Second, every public company having paid up share capital of 50 crore rupees or more. And the third category is every public company having a turnover of 250 crore rupees or more. Here, turnover means the gross amount of revenue recognized in the profit and loss account from the sale, supply or distribution of goods or on account of services rendered or both by a company during a financial year. Moreover, SEBI LODR prescribes secretarial audit of material unlisted subsidiary of the listed entity in addition to the above three category mentioned company, where material subsidiary means a subsidiary whose income or net worth exceeds 10% of the consolidated income or net worth respectively of the listed entity and its subsidiary in the immediately preceding accounting year. Nowadays, most of the big private companies, including multinational companies, are complying this as a part of corporate governance. Next, we will discuss the process that should be adopted by the companies and the secretarial auditor while performing an effective audit. First, the first step is the appointment of the secretarial auditor, which widely covers intimation to the earlier incumbent, informing the appointment to the earlier secretarial auditor of the company in writing. A formal letter of the appointment would be issued by the company to the secretarial auditor along with the copy of board resolution for appointment. The secretarial auditor shall confirm the acceptance of the appointment in the writing. Second, next is the intimation of the audit, which is about preliminary discussion, survey, meetings between the secretarial auditor and the senior management of the company, as it is important for the secretarial auditor to have all the relevant information about the company, initiating with the reviews of the financials of the company, for analyzing the applicable laws on the company and extracting the list of relevant provisions of applicable laws on the company. He may put for surveys for gathering information about the company. The preliminary meeting with the senior management and the staff involved in the audit will give a fair idea of what is the business and operation of the company and the manner in which audit activities are to be undertaken. At this stage, a time frame of the secretarial audit should be determined and finalized. The third step is the finalization of the audit plan and briefing the staff, testing, interviews and analysis and preparation of working papers. The audit should be organized to cover adequately all aspects of the enterprises as far as they are relevant to the audit objectives. Appropriate verification has to be done with the help of checklist. For this, the secretarial auditor may plan a periodic visits and gather information. The plan also involves briefing the audit staff as to the allotment of work, field responsibilities, and other roles. He may use a variety of tools, techniques to gather information about the company's operation. Coming on the working papers, which play a vital role in the audit process, they form the basis of expression of audit opinion and connect the management's record and information to the auditor's opinion. The next and the fourth important step is the discussion with the management of the company. That is, the company secretary in practice may obtain a management representation letter from the auditee company, and the letter may be signed by the company secretary, managing director, senior management who would normally have authority to issue the same. This letter of representation is a part of his audit evidence. Moreover, it is recommended that the findings during the course of audit are summarized and presented for initial discussion with the management for their views, clarifications, and replies. Here, secretarial audit may share the same along with the bifurcation of risk into low, medium, and high according to their severity. After considering the qualification replies of the management, the secretarial auditor shall prepare the secretarial audit report in Form MR3. The report is addressed to the members, but it is to be submitted to the board. The report shall contain the opinion on the statutory compliances explained by the secretarial auditor and shall state whether in his opinion the company is carrying out or not carrying out due compliances of the applicable provision of various laws. The report shall be provided with or without qualifications. Here the qualification, if any, shall be marked in bold or italic for the visibility of the content. Section 204 of the Act provides that the company shall annex with its board report the secretarial audit report given by the company secretary in practice. Also, the board shall explain in full any qualification or observation or other remarks made by the secretarial auditor in his report to the members of the company in the board's report. If the secretarial auditor of the company in the course of the performance of his duties as auditor has reason to believe that an offense or fraud is being or has been committed in the company by its officer or employees, the auditor shall report the matter. If in case the amount involved in the fraud is less than 1 crore, then the matter shall be reported to the audit committee or the board of directors immediately, but not later than 2 days of the auditor's knowledge of the fraud, and he shall report the matter specifying the followings. First one is nature of fraud with description. Second, approximately amount involved. Third, parties involved. Further, if in the case the fraud involves or is expected to involve individually an amount of rupees 1 crore or above, then the matter shall be reported to the central government. The auditor shall report the matter to the central government are as under. The auditor shall report the matter to the board or the audit committee as the case may be immediately but not later than 2 days of his knowledge of the fraud, seeking their replies or observation within 45 days. Further, the auditor shall forward his report in Form ADT4 on his letterhead containing required information and the reply or observation of the board or the audit committee along with his comments on such replies to the central government within 15 days from the date of receipt of such replies or observation. In absence of any reply or observations from the board or the audit committee, he shall forward his report to the central government along with the note containing the details of his report that was earlier forwarded to the board or the audit committee for which he has not received any reply or observation. The report then shall be sent to the Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The auditor shall keep in mind some additional points while issuing his report, which are as follows. The board of directors of the company is duly constituted with proper balance of executive directors, non-executive director and independent directors, and the changes in its composition that took place during the period under review were carried out in compliance with the provision of the adequate notice is given to all the directors to schedule the board meetings, agenda, and detailed notes on agenda were sent at least 7 days in advance, and a system existing for seeking and obtaining further information and clarifications on the agenda items before the meeting and for meaningful participation at the meeting. Majority decision is carried out through while the dissenting members' view are captured and recording as a part of the minutes. There are adequate system and processes in the company commensurate with the size and operation of the company to monitor and ensure compliance with applicable laws, rules, regulation and guidelines. The company structure and its shareholding. The scope of secretarial audit is first, reporting on compliance of 5 laws as mentioned in the form MR3, that is the Companies Act 2013, Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956, Depositories Act 1996, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, to the extent of foreign direct investment, overseas direct investment, and external commercial borrowings, SEBI regulation and guidelines. Second, reporting on compliance of other laws as may be applicable specifically to the company. For example, for banks, all laws applicable to banking industry. For insurance company, all applicable laws to insurance industry. Similarly, for companies in pharmaceutical sector, cement industry, etc. And third and lastly, examining and reporting whether the adequate system and processes are in place to monitor and ensure compliances with general laws like labor laws, competition law, environmental law, and relying on the reports given by statutory auditor for the financial laws. Specific events and action having a major bearing on the company's affair in pursuance of the above referred laws, rules, regulation, guidelines, standards, etc. For example, first, public right preferential issue of shares, debentures, sweat equity share, etc. Second, redemption, buyback of securities. Third, merger, amalgamation, reconstructions. Fourth, foreign technical collaboration, etc. Further, if a company or any officer of the company or the company secretary in practice contravenes the provision of this section, the company, every officer of the company and the company secretary in practice who is in default shall be punishable with a fine which shall not be less than 1 lakh rupees but which may extend to 5 lakh rupees. Moreover, if the secretarial auditor issue incorrect secretarial audit report, then he or she shall be liable to the provision of fraud as per section 447 and 448 of the Companies Act 2013. You can refer our other videos already published on the YouTube channel on important topics, that is IEPF, board governance, significant beneficial owners, startups, Secretarial Standards 1, Secretarial Standard 2, Board's Report, TREADS, Corporate Social Responsibility, that is CSR, Related Party Transaction, and Incorporation of the companies. You may subscribe for our weekly light and monthly light newsletters for all latest updates in areas such as SEBI, FEMA, Companies Act, etc. Or you may follow our Facebook and LinkedIn page for daily updates by referring the details given on the slide and in the description box below. We have tried to cover the important aspects, that is process, fraud provisions, critical points, contravention provisions related to secretarial audit required as per the Companies Act 2013 and SEBI LODR regulations. We request you to share your views and advice on this web series, including the topics that you want us to cover in the coming videos. Thank you.